Welcome back, everybody. This is Wings of Wax, and we are playing Slay the Spire. So the last time we ended up defeating the heart finally. Took us, what's that, 33 episodes? I did not say that I was great at the game. I just said I was learning the game. So we've definitely gotten better with choices, though. I feel like we keep getting closer and closer to getting to... We kept getting closer and closer to the heart, and... to closer and closer to finishing him. So I knew that within a couple of runs we'd be able to get there. So it is really, really hard to be able to get. We did consistently get to Act 3 and be able to defeat Act 3. So I'm going to give myself a little pat on the back for that, because even Act 3 it can be somewhat difficult. So the fact that we were able to at least get to the heart on a lot of those runs is pretty fantastic. But that's before. Now we get to finally move on to our next class. So I'm very excited today because we get to play a very fun class. I think all three of these actually are really fun. This is more like the vanilla strategy to be able to go with, but I do like the silence. It is 70 HP. So it starts off with the Ring of Snake, which is at the start of each combat. So the first turn that you have of each combat, you draw 2 additional cards. So basically it just gives us more opportunities to be able to just figure out what our first line of play is. So it just gives us more options is what it comes down to, and more options always leads to better plays, being able to defend on turns that are proper that you need to defend, and being able to be aggressive on turns that you need to be aggressive. So excuse me, Mr. Krabs. So there's going to be a couple of different directions we can go in. Probably the poison is one of the most well-known. I would say Shiv deck is also pretty well-known too, and you'll see exactly what those are once we start to embark on our adventure. Hello again. Let's try this out. Let's see what we get. Upgrade a card. Enemies in your next 3 combats have 1 HP. I've been liking this a lot less lately. I would say there are times when it's important to do that, which we will take a look at the map in just a second. And also, I should say that taking damage on the silent is just run destroying at most times, because you don't really have any ways to be able to regenerate health. So I would say that the silent is kind of like a glass cannon. I'll show you what our starting deck looks like, though. We have, obviously, the Shivs and the Defense, so it's 5 and 5. And then we have 2 cards. We have Survivor, which is gain 8 block, but we have to discard a card. If this is the last card in our hand, though, we actually don't have to discard a card, so in case you're wondering. And Neutralize, which is our 0 mana card, to deal 3 damage and apply 1 weak. If this gets upgraded, we can apply 2 weak and deal 4 damage, which so far, out of the cards that we have, that will be the first upgrade that we will go for, which I think is worthwhile. But I just want to check the map to see if we can actually get to an elite potentially and take advantage of, which looks like we can't, take advantage of the enemies being at 3 HP, because if you see here, we need to come into combat here, combat here, combat here, combat here, same. So we can't get to that elite. And there's no other elites that are even reasonable to be able to go for. So I think we're just going to go for an upgrade here. And we'll go for the Neutralize, because I think it's actually the best thing we can do right now, because putting Weaken on our opponents to be able to deal less damage, since we don't have that buffer of the Burning Heart, or Burning Blood, I believe it's what's called, for Ironclad, to be able to generate 6 health at the end of combat. You'll see that comes into play pretty frequently, and managing our life total with the Silent is going to be more extreme than it would be with the Ironclad. So I would like to be able to get to this elite if we can help it. But if it's not in the cards, then we won't necessarily... If the path looks deadly, which it does, because we have an elite here, which we could go like this direction or this direction. But the problem is, after we fight this elite, we have a second elite. And relics, I think, are pretty important for this class, the Silent, because there are a lot of relics that actually help us out. Being able to apply more poison or just deal more damage for 0 casting cost cards. We get more benefits out of relics here than we do, I think, out of cards for the most parts. I would like to be able to fight 2 elites if I can help it. And it looks like this might be one of the better choices. I mean, both of these lead down the same path. And we can fight this elite, but unfortunately we have 2 combats prior. 3 combats prior. I would imagine these will be pretty easy combats, so we won't take too much damage. And hopefully we can pick up something to be able to... if we get here and we decide that we would rather need to rest, obviously we'll make that choice, and then maybe we can lean up towards going towards this elite, which I think is reasonable. I like that. Could have obviously gone to the store too, but I don't like really going to the store unless I have more money. So, just because this will weaken them for the following turn, let's do that. Oh, I could have actually dealt extra damage. Oops. That was actually a missed opportunity there. I missed out on an additional strike. Okay, so this guy's attacking, so we can kill him. And then we don't have to do anything else this turn, so. We could have killed potentially both if I had actually dealt that extra damage, but this guy's just dead here, so. Let's keep the mistakes to a minimum here. Ooh, we have Heel Hook, we have Noxious Fumes, and we have Skewer. Noxious Fumes is probably the best card here. So I'll go through each of these real quick. We have Heel Hook, which is basically like the equivalency of what's the card called? I forget exactly. It's the same like the 1 mana. You draw a card and you get additional energy if the opponent has the ability. So it has weak basically. Yeah, it's not bad. Noxious Fumes and Skewer are 2 really fantastic cards though. I think Noxious Fumes might be slightly better, but we have to build more of a defensive build if we go for the Noxious Fumes here. Skewer does deal a lot of damage. I actually don't know what this does when it's upgraded. It deals 10. That's a lot of damage. That's tough. They're both fantastic cards. I would say Heel Hook is definitely the weakest out of all 3 of these, but this one is like inevitability, like you will inevitably kill your opponent, but this is like really good burst damage. I feel like both are good in just about any deck. I'm not 100% sure which one is correct to go with at first. Obviously, if we take Skewer, that would be a fantastic card to upgrade. Noxious Fumes also would be a good upgrade because it goes up to 3 poison. I'm not sure which one is the best one to take here, though, to be completely honest with you. So I think we just take... My gut's telling me to try out Skewer, since I already know what Noxious Fumes does, and we don't necessarily know if we're going to be going down the poison route, so I'm going to take Skewer, though. I think dealing the extra damage to these elites is going to be beneficial. Unfortunately, we're going to have to lose some HP, but we're gaining some gold. I like gold. So, best thing we can do is double strike this guy, and we have a survivor to be able to block all this damage. So we took out 1 enemy, and we were able to block everything. So I'd call that a win right there. Yeah, I mean, this is going to deal more damage on a strike, so we're just going to deal 21 damage. Hopefully he is dead in the following turn. We just need 2 strikes here. We got it. All right. Let's see. Endless Agony is not terrible. All Out Attack is also not terrible. And Riddle with Holes is also not terrible. So these are all reasonable cards. We don't have any AoE yet, so I'm like looking at All Out Attack, thinking that might be the best choice for us right now. So that way we can actually have some help dealing with a bunch of mobs. I think that is the best choice, though. I'm not sure. I do not want to be able to get cursed here. We do actually have ways to be able to discard it and be able to abuse. He is attacking for 11, which we can neutralize him, make him only deal 8. I don't want to take damage, and this deals more damage than an actual strike does. He is not attacking here, so... Is it worth going for the all-out attack to make it so that he dies to 2 strikes next turn? I think it is. I should have actually checked to see. We have 2 defend, so... Maybe it wasn't. I mean, worst case scenario, we can always just defend up. It's not like the end of the world. Yeah, we're just going to go for double defense here, and obviously dealing the damage doesn't do anything, so... Pass. Thankfully, we're not getting, like, punished or anything. All right, Leg Sweep is a pretty good card. All 3 of these are decent. Leg Sweep, 2 mana, apply 2 weak, and gain 11 block. One of the problems with the Silent is that we just need to manage our life total, so like this is actually a reasonable card to take here. Blade Dance is good, but I feel like it's only good if we are going for the Shiv deck, and we don't know if we are yet. So what it does is it creates 2 Shivs, which are 0 mana, deal 4, and they have Exhaust. And Choke is a deal 12. Whenever you play a card this turn, the enemy loses an additional 3 health. Choke is good if we're going for like a Shiv style deck, which we are not, but I do think Leg Sweep is worthwhile here. I think it's worth it. I think it's worth it. since we have some potions to be able to help us out here, which I will crack a potion here to try to deal some extra damage. We gotta just focus in on one, and I'm not sure like if neutralize is really going to be beneficial to go for. This will deal. This is a cunning potion, I should say. It adds 3 Shiv pluses to our hand, which I believe deals 6 damage. So it's like a one-time use. You get 18 damage for free, which actually will deal 24 damage because we just got a strength increase. Which 24, so 32, 40. We can actually take this guy out if we really wanted to, but I think it's better for us to just block this guy this turn. And maybe go for, like, I'm trying not to take damage, and we can kill one. We want to kill one of the ones on the outside first, because that way we can keep them off sync from each other, so they're not both attacking on the same turns. We don't have to put up 20 block or 18 block rather. So I think it's actually more beneficial for us to just focus on one, which I'm going to focus on the one with the least amount of HP. I do not want to use that. I want to be able to go for double defend. Correct. 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 Yes. I'm just trying to preserve my life total. That is inevitably what's happening here. We do get an all-out attack, which is not a terrible choice. We also get a leg sweep. I'm thinking we pop this cunning potion. Use the all-out attack. That will be, what, 8 damage apiece, so 24 damage. So this will deal 12. I think that's probably worth it. Yeah, that sounds worth it to me. That way we can just try to preserve our life total. We only have to use 2 of these on him. And then we're going to be going after this one for the following turn. So leg sweep is perfectly fine. I do think we should weaken... Well, I mean, he's not going to get weakened, but put up the block this turn at least. Just not take any damage if we can help it. And we have a chance of being able to take this guy down because of our strength increase here. Did not get there. That's okay. Do we want to go after this one then? We can take one. I'm not really sure I actually want to take any damage, though. My life total is very relevant. No, we'll just try to make this one dead. And obviously I didn't discard the daze, because otherwise the daze would go into our discard pile and not get etherealed, which is the problem there. So even if we did go after this guy last turn, we still wouldn't be able to take him out. That's okay. We can take this one out. We're going to take 4 damage for this elite fight. I think that's acceptable. And yeah, we're just all skewer him. That deals the most damage. We would like to upgrade skewer as quickly as we can. We did have to use 2 potions, but we only took 4 damage. We have anchor, which is actually really good for the silent. Deflect is not terrible. I feel like the trap is getting into 0 mana cards, though. Getting 4 block out of 0 mana it's fine. I don't think it's actually worthwhile to go for, though. Or like EVENOM is actually reasonable. Prepared also is good, but it's only really good if it's upgraded, because you actually lose. You break even on a card for this. It costs you a card, and then you draw and get and discard. Whereas when it's upgraded, it draws 1. Draws 2. And you discard 2. Actually, no. Then did they nerf this? I think this got changed, because I'm pretty sure this was a discard 1 for a while. I could be wrong. I think we go for EVENOM, though. Like, EVENOM is really good. Whenever it's a power, whenever an attack deals unblocked damage, apply 1 poison. So it's going to be good for a poison deck, or it's going to be good for a Shiv-style deck. So we don't know what direction we're going to be going in yet. EVENOM to take 4. Actually, no, we don't even take damage this turn. Oh, if we decide to go for a defend, I think that's worthwhile. I think it's worthwhile. I don't think it's worth losing HP over. So we got to set up the EVENOM, which is going to be really useful. So let's neutralize him, because clearly we're going to be doing that. I think we are also just leg sweeping here, just to make him so that way he's not dealing too much damage. I'm not going to use the all-out attack, because I actually do want to keep the card draw relevant, because I do need to actually draw 2 defends a turn. because most likely he's going to be attacking. He like attacks like almost every turn is basically what it comes down to. So we were able to block, able to apply some more poison to him. And you're seeing that the poison stays on him, and it has number 2, which means it has the next. He'll lose 2 at this turn. Then the poison will be reduced by 1 after he takes that damage. It's actually at the start of his turn, by the way. We do have another leg sweep. Is that worth it? Nah. He should be dead before that actually becomes relevant enough. Doesn't matter. Just preventing all the damage this turn. All right, and he's dead. Just to show you that it actually triggers at the beginning of his turn before he actually attacks us. There you go. So we get dodge and roll, which is a 1 mana gain 4 block this turn and gain 4 block next turn. So it's basically 8 block, but between 2 turns. Piercing Veil is also really good. All enemies lose 6 strength this turn. So basically it's kind of like a fog for the turn, if you know what fog is from Magic, which is prevent all combat damage. That's kind of like what Piercing Wail is. And I'm just not interested in taking a 0 mana deflect at this point. I don't think it's worthwhile. It's between Piercing Veil and Dodge and Roll, and I'm not sure which one's actually better for us, to be completely honest with you. I do like the Dodge and Roll because it sets it up so that way, like, this turn we're blocking a little bit, and then next turn we don't have to spend mana to be able to, at least as much mana to be able to block. I do really like Piercing Veil, though. I think Piercing Veil is worthwhile to take, too. They're both very strong. I shouldn't say very strong. They're both reasonable. I think Piercing Veil, though, is just slightly better. Mostly for, like, say, like the heart is what I was thinking of in my head. Looks like we are avoiding... Right. I didn't realize that. I thought we could go this way. Oh, we had to go. Okay, so I made a little misplay there, but that's okay. We're still in a reasonable spot here. I can't really complain too much. We don't need to leg sweep. Because we already have the anchor. I gotta remember that. Because that is actually very relevant. You know what? To just deal the extra damage because we want to kill him as quickly as possible, sure. I will miss out on one draw because we're probably going to take some damage against him. We do not have lethal because Skewer only deals 21 damage here. So, I think we'll go for the Piercing Wail to take 1 damage instead, and I don't think we have enough time to be able to set up this. So, oh wait, we're taking 3 damage. Was he dealing 9? I wasn't paying attention, I guess. All right, fine. We'll make sure that we just take no damage this turn. That's whatever. We'll take. We don't want to take any damage. Is basically what it comes down to. But I do want to apply pressure to him. I do think that we should probably block up here and be able to use one of these attacks. He's not defending next turn, so we should be able to just kill him as long as we draw 2 strikes here, or just skewer. Skewer is perfect. Get a flex potion, that's pretty fantastic. So we're not going to take a deflect. I'm not really a big fan of that card. We have Tactician, which is if this card, it's unplayable, so it doesn't do anything. But if this card is discarded from your hand, you get an additional energy. It's not bad. I do think Dagger Throw is actually the best card here, though. You deal 9 damage, you draw 1 card, and you discard a card. So I think that's reasonable to take here. These are all the same amount of combats. I guess we go this way because we want to split the combats. That sounds reasonable. Yeah, let's go for that. We get Bag of Marbles, which is really, really powerful for the silent here. Being able to make our opponents vulnerable on the first turn is really good. So, how do we want to do this? We could potentially kill this. We do probably want to still Survivor this turn. Let's go for the Dagger Throw here. Actually, the Dagger Throw... We just need double Skewer to kill this. I think it's still worth to go for the Dagger Throw. Like, it's... we want to keep the Survivor because we're going to be casting the Survivor this turn. Doesn't really matter what we get rid of here. And Skewer should kill you. Alright, 1 down. Oh, we didn't even need to block that turn. We have Anchor. I am silly. Very silly there. I don't think it's going to matter to go for the EVENOM, so I think it's just better for us to just apply as much pressure as we possibly can. We need 1 strike to kill you. I keep forgetting about the Anchor. I got to remember that because that's going to be very important. Alright, so we have Dodge and Roll. We have Blade Dance, which we've seen, and we have Blur, which is gain 5 block. Block is not removed at the start of your next turn. So if we have any block, it'll carry over for the following turn. I actually really like Blur, so especially since we already have like a leg sweep and stuff like that, so I think it's worthwhile. Okay. So we're not taking any damage. I don't need to actually cast a Survivor. There is a consideration to go for the Blur this turn and maybe not for the EVENOM. The EVENOM is just not very good against like these type of enemies. It's better for combats that are going to go longer, and these are not long fights. So I do like going for the Dagger Throw. If we deal it to you, you'll go to 8, which can be an all-out attack will kill you. A neutralize plus a strike will kill you. Is that better than just going for like Dagger Throw on this one? So we'll actually kill it. Yes, that is much better. It doesn't matter. So I think we just want to take off the armor from this guy, and I think we go for the Blur so we can carry over some of our block. Perfect. This was actually reasonable. All-out attack is pretty good. Oh, we are weakened. That's why. Silly, goofy goober there. Dealing 10 to him. Yeah, this will just make it so that way we just need 2 strikes. Actually, we need 3 strikes to be able to kill these because I forgot we're weakened. We are weakened. We are weakened. We're fine, though. We're fine. You guys are worried. I know. We got this. It's a little sloppy of plays, but it's as long as we're not losing any HP, that's what matters. Expertise is not a terrible card, but we just don't have the mana to be able to use it. Draw cards until you have 6 cards in your hand. Sucker Punch is also pretty decent. 1 mana, deal 7, apply 1 week. And Slice is a 0 mana, deal 5. Slice is actually reasonable to be able to deal damage for 0 mana. I don't think the block for 4 is really worth it, but Slice is not terrible. Is the Sucker Punch just better for us, though? Upgraded, which we're not really going to be able to upgrade that anytime soon, because we'd rather upgrade probably like... What does EVENOM look like upgraded? Costs 1 mana, yeah. We want to upgrade EVENOM, and Skewer would be our targets that we actually want to go for. I'm thinking we just pass here, though. But, like, taking a Slice is not a terrible option, just because, like, you've noticed that we draw 5 cards turn, and we're not able to cast everything in our hand just yet. So I think Slice is actually worthwhile here, because we can afford to have a 0 mana card, possibly 2 0 mana cards in our deck. Like, it's kind of like Anger in Ironclad, where you don't mind having like 1, maybe 2, especially if you're restricted on your mana, especially this early on in the game. So I do think that Slice is worthwhile. Looks like we'll be able to upgrade a card here. Let's see. Do we want EVENOM or do we want all-out attack? EVENOM's going to be better against the... I'm sorry, Skewer or EVENOM here. I think Skewer is just like the best option. What does it go up to? Deal 14? That's actually not a terrible choice either, but dealing 10 for each of those, each mana is going to take out enemies real quick. Okay. We really want to all-out attack, but if that's the case, we're taking 7 to do so. Because I probably will want to also cast EVENOM, because this guy needs to become dead real quick. What's the other option? I could just all-out attack and not EVENOM. I don't think EVENOM actually would be really worthwhile in this fight. They're not sturdy enough. They don't have enough HP for us to really take advantage, I feel like, of EVENOM. So maybe we just ignore the EVENOM. Yeah, I think that's probably the case. Which means we definitely want all-out attack. I think that is reasonable here. And from there, we're definitely casting a Blur and a Defend. Does that discard a card from our hand? Discard 1 random card. Okay, I actually thought it was it restricted your draw for the next turn. I wonder where I got that idea from. Maybe it's from like previous videos or something like that I watch. I don't remember. Okay, well, because we actually did want to attack that turn using the strike. I just didn't realize that that's what it was doing. Deal 10. So let's see, we can deal 30 and we can kill him. I like that a lot. Get him out of here. And then we're just stuck with the slime, and the slime's really not that bad to deal with here. We cannot kill you, that is for sure, so we will weaken you. We will neutralize you as well, and we will just deal 4 damage, and then make it so that way 2 strikes just kill you next turn. That sounds really good for us. Yeah, dagger throw, boop. We booped the slime on the nose. Alright, so we have Wraith Form, which is gain 2 intangible, but we lose a dexterity at the end of our turn. It is really powerful, but it's one of those things that you need to like set up and do. So basically so intangible, for those of you who don't know what intangible does, reduces all damage taken and HP loss to 1. So if you're going to be dealt, 300 damage, it's going to be reduced to 1. However, if you're being dealt like the heart, if you're being dealt 5 times 12 damage, you're actually going to be dealt 1 damage 12 times. So just to kind of clear that up, I do think that Wraith Form is pretty decent. Sneaky Strike is also pretty good. Deal 10 damage if you discard a card. You basically get to play this for free because it regenerates. It comes back. It gives you the 2 extra energy back. And right now we only have 1 card that discards. No, we actually have 2. We have All Out Attack and we have Dagger Throw. Okay, those are decent reasons to consider this. And we also have Flechettes, which is 1 mana, deal 4 damage for each skill in your hand. I don't think this card is worth picking here. But Wraith Form and Sneaky Strike are definitely considerations here. Deal 14 does not give us an extra energy. I was kind of hoping it did. This is just like +1 intangible. Wraith Form is reasonable enough, I think, for us to take, especially against the boss battles and stuff, to be able to reduce damage. The only issue is it makes like our blocks worse when we play it, but it's something that we play like late game, so I'm okay with taking that, I think. Okay, this is actually, I think, an EVENOM. EVENOM time. I don't think we go for the all-out. Actually, yeah, just discards a card from me. I'm still having that mental process of, reducing the draw, which is not the case. That deals the most damage, so get that going. We do get Wraith Form. We don't. Do we need it? Is basically the question. I don't think we do, because we could just block this turn and not make it so that where our dexterity, it doesn't just keep decreasing over the course of the game. I think it's worthwhile. Like this isn't really a fight that we want to be able to do that. Yeah, I would like to make sure that we just don't take any damage. Okay, he's going for just a basic apply weakness turn for us. So we actually have Envenom with Skewer, which is pretty good, but I think we can start with the dagger. Actually, the dagger throw is less damage. Wow, because we upgrade the Skewer. Okay, let's go for the Skewer and go for the slice. He's going to get dealt 4 here because of the poison. Unfortunately, the poison does not carry over to these guys, which is really unfortunate, but oh well. We do have Leg Sweep, Blur, and Neutralize, so I think we go for that. So let's neutralize this guy, make him so that he's dealing less damage. Let's weaken this guy too, I guess. And we will just blur to make sure we don't take any damage. And that way we can carry over, what's that, 4 block for the following turn? Yes. We do get a Skewer. Skewer can just kill this guy, which I am a big fan of. So I think we just do that. And that's why Skewer is good. Just deal 30 right there. Take one of them out right now. Just get him out of here. We're not going to need this. We're just going to be trying to apply as much damage as possible, then he's going to die on his turn. Perfect. That worked out great. We get a power potion. We also have a regen potion, which we haven't quite used yet, but it is a consideration to use it at some point soon. We have Outmaneuver, which is 1 mana, gain 2 additional energy on the following turn. Reasonable card. We have Poison Stab, which is deal 6, but apply 3 poison as well. So it's basically deal 9, but if you think about it, as long as the opponent's around for 3 turns, you're dealing the 3 poison, then you're dealing 2, and then you're dealing 1. So you're dealing 6 damage. So this is basically 1 mana, deal 12. And then we have Bane, which is 1 mana, deal 7. If an enemy has poison, it deals an additional 7 damage. But I think Poison Stab is just like the best card here. We have some poison stuff going on. We are fighting who? We are fighting, okay. Hexaghost is fine. I think we go for a Smith then. And if we go for a Smith, I think EVENOM is probably the best card we can upgrade against him. I would say Wraith Form is also decent, but I think EVENOM is just going to be more powerful at 1 mana. That way we can actually do more than one thing in the turn we cast it. Okay, so thankfully we have EVENOM here. And we're able to discard a card to be able to deal some extra damage. This is fine. That's a pretty decent turn 1. Unfortunately, we're going to take a lot of damage, but Piercing Wail came to the rescue. We're taking 0 damage. Yeah. Let's blur and just carry over some block for the following turn. Piercing Wail is a one-time use, but man, that was a really good use. Skewer deals the most amount of damage here. I'm okay with taking 1. And we have 8 poison on him, so he took 8 on his turn. We're gonna keep just stacking up this poison. Clearly, we're gonna go for the neutralize. Do we go for the leg sweep as well? I don't know if we necessarily need to. I feel like just dealing damage is like the best thing for us. We can afford to take some hits here. I will get rid of a defend. And I think we're just going to go for a strike to apply another layer of poison, and we'll take 1 damage to basically deal him an extra 7 damage that turn. All right, Poison Stab is slightly better than Skewer, at least to be able to cast here. I think we're okay with taking 4 damage too, to be honest with you. I do like that this will apply, a bunch more poison. The more poison we have stacked up on him, the quicker he's going to die. And this will apply 2 more poison and deal him 20. Is that okay with us taking 4? I think it is. He's very close to just, like, being taken out of this game before he even gets the full ring around for these flames. Because once he gets to this one, that's when he's going to come back with that enormous attack again. So, let's see. We have Neutralize. We have All Out Attack. But let's go for the cards that we actually want to cast first. Perfect. He just took 18 on his turn. By the way, I should also note that poison goes through armor, which is pretty dirty. I don't think we even really need to Wraith Form, to be completely honest. I think we just stack up defends this turn and blur it over, since we can't actually penetrate the armor that he just put up. So he's still taking damage from the poison. So hopefully you can see why, poison strategies are really powerful. We have another strike here, and we'll just double defend. I mean, whatever. We took 2 from the burn, but at least we had the armor to be able to block there. So he is all the way around, and you will see that he has 17 poison on him, and he's at 9 life right now. So we can just pass the turn. And he just died to the poison. So before he even got a chance to attack us, do we want to get rid of any of these potions? We could have actually used the regen potion there. Is dexterity better than any of these? I don't think we can fully take advantage of the strength potion. I think dex is just going to be better for us, because we're looking to get, I think, more like if we had more if we were going more of the Shiv build, I do think that flex potion is a reason to stay, but since we are currently not, I don't think it is. All right, we have 1,000 Cuts, which is whenever you play a card, deal 1 damage to all enemies. And when this gets upgraded, by the way, it goes to 2 damage, which is pretty decent. We have Alchemize, which is a one-time use because it has Exhaust, which, by the way, it'll cost 0 mana if we upgrade it, and we can obtain a random potion. Also pretty decent. And we have Tools of the Trade, which is 1 mana for a power. At the start of your turn, draw a card and discard a card. So if you remember the, I forget exactly what it was called, but the 2 mana card that dealt 10 damage, and if you discard a card that turn, then it would basically be free. It would regenerate the 2, give you back the 2 energy you put into it. Then that's where like Tools of the Trade really comes in handy. I'm not sure which one of these is the best one to play, to pick actually. I feel like 1,000 Cuts plus EVENOM is actually like legitimate strategy though. Just want to check to make sure I'm reading this right. Whenever an attack, so technically that does not work. I was thinking whenever they took damage, which is how the wording matters, which means this doesn't actually interact with EVENOM the way that I was thinking it would. So I think it comes down to like Alchemize and Tools of the Trade though. Tools of the Trade costing 0 mana when it's upgraded is really good. It just gives you more options to be able to plan out your turns a bit more too. This Alchemize, like the potions that we'd be getting from it, it is the potions we typically get are typically worth you know, more than 1 mana. And I'm not sure which one is actually better here because I haven't played enough of the Silent to understand which one is typically better for us. So I'm tempted to, like, either choice I feel like is a good choice. I don't think that it's ever a bad choice to take either of these. I think we're going to go for Alchemize, though. I mean, there are a lot of cards that interact with discard, though. And right now we don't really have many things that interact with discard, but it's so tough between these two. These two are like premium cards. They're not like the best cards that you can get for the Silent, but they are really powerful. They're really good. They help out a lot. I'm not sure what to take, honestly. These are tough choices. I'm really tempted to just take the potions because I feel like the potions are going to be a lot more fun. But honestly, I think Tools of the Trade might be just better to be able to get more card selection every single turn. And also the fact that both of these can become 0 mana. I wish this became innate when you upgraded it, so that way it could start in your opening hand at every combat. But still being 0 mana is really good for that card. Tough choices. I think we take Alchemize, though. Let's have some fun with potions. Okay, so let's see. We have Runic Pyramid, which I'm sure everybody's familiar with. It is the one that you don't have to discard cards in your hand. We have Ectoplasm, which is gain an extra energy at the start of your turn, but you can no longer gain gold. And then we have Hovering Kite. The first time you discard a card each turn, gain an extra energy. So obviously, if we took Tools of the Trade, Hovering Kite would have been fantastic. Unfortunately, though, we can't take that. And it's between Runic Pyramid and Ectoplasm, and I think I'm leaning more towards Ectoplasm because we don't have enough mana to be able to get rid of all the cards in our hand yet anyways. And I think that is more beneficial for us. Like, it sucks that we're going to be losing out on gaining gold for the rest of the game, but we can still hit a store. I think the extra mana we get is more reasonable here. All right, let's start up Act 2. We're only 36 minutes in. Yeah, so let's see if we can do one more act for this video. Since I realize that I'm going to be taking my time a little bit with this one because it's the first time I've actually ever played the Silent. So yeah, we do need to start picking up some key pieces. So we got to make sure that we at least take one of these two paths towards the end to be able to fight this elite. Because we don't want to be collecting the key piece towards the end of Act 3 or in Act 3. At least the elite one. The other ones are fine. This direction has no campfires, so this is probably a better one to go down. We have a campfire right before the elite here. Or we can choose, if we go to the shop, that we'll be able to choose between going to the elite first if we're still at a reasonable health total. Or we can choose to go to the campfire here if we end up shooting off at this this shop. So from here, I don't think we need 4 straight combats right away. I don't mind just getting at least a question mark in here. So I think we just start with one of these two. It doesn't really matter which one of those two that we choose. They both inevitably do the same for what we're looking to do here. So yeah, we do want to actually be able to use a potion. So is it best for me to use a dex potion or a power potion here? Since we want to get into the habit of being able to do it because we have Alchemize. Sure. I think we'll just go with a power potion. We have After Image. Actually, that's really good for us. Well-Laid Plans is also pretty decent. At the end of your turn, you retain up to 1 card. So you get to keep a card in your hand. And After Image is whenever you play a card, you gain 1 block. So I think that's going to be really helpful for us here. I do want to gain a little bit of block if I can help it. I don't mind discarding. As long as we don't discard the Skewer, I'll be very happy. Thank you. And then I guess we just Skewer one of these guys. Let's go for the one that's the weakest currently. He will actually be set to 2. I think it's better for us to go after this one then. Because then it just takes 1 strike to take him out. It would take 1 strike to be able to take this one out too, but this is just more like damage efficiency. So we have a deal 5, so we can actually take this guy out. Let's go with the Dagger Throw first. Piercing Wail is slightly better than a Defend here anyways. We can take you out. And honestly, it doesn't really matter what we do here. I actually kind of want to keep the piercing wail in, but go. It doesn't matter what we do because he's just dead. Like, leg sweep just to make sure that we actually get enough block here. He's not dealing any damage. I should have went for the EVENOM before I dealt that attack earlier. So, and whatever, we'll just pass. He is blocking, so I do need to kill him like right now. Let's go for the alchemize. Let's see what we get. We get a draw potion. Reasonable. So we should be able to get through all the... oh, well, he's going to die to the poison. Yeah, right. He's dead to the poison. And rip. We got our gold back. Yeah. It only took us 2 health. That's not a bad deal. We have Bane, which is... we already know what Bane does. It deals basically 14 damage if they're poisoned. We also have Caltrops, which is whenever you are attacked, it deals 3 damage back to the enemy. So it's like having the thorns. And I'm actually a pretty big fan of Caltrops. I think that is a reasonable choice. We don't have enough poison to really warrant going for the Bane just yet. We only have 2 poison cards. Poison Stab and EVENOM. If we had more poison, I think I would take the Bane here, but I think Caltrops is more worthwhile since we're pretty defensive. I do like EVENOM. Good card. Do we go for like Piercing Wail plus Skewer? Or do we go for like Blur? I like Blur. Blur will carry over some defense. Right, we could have actually used a potion, which maybe we can just use next turn. We can use probably the draw potion since that's like the weakest of all these. We don't really need to here. Let's just try to deal him enough damage. Let's get rid of this defend. I'd like to just keep applying the pressure. Okay. So basically just put a hex on us, so whenever we play a non-attack card, it shuffles 1 days into our draw pile. We don't have enough to be able to kill him. Her. It. Chosen. I do like going for like the Caltrops and maybe like leg sweep here. Or we could just use the draw potion. Let's just go for the Caltrops and leg sweep. That way it's just... We're putting 2 dazes into our deck, which is a problem. But it's not that big of a deal, I don't think. How much damage are we dealing? We have the EVENOM, right? Yeah, so this is basically dealing extra damage, so it'd be 10, which would be 17. It's not quite enough to be able to kill this. So do we use the draw potion and try to find some more damage? I think so. Got all-out attack. Okay. Well, we have enough to be able to go for everything. I just want to make sure I go for this alchemize before I decide to actually go for the all-out attack. And there we go. GG's. I just want to make sure I get the most value so we can get our potion back. Sneaky Strike. Oh, boy. It's too bad. We had tools of the trade. We could have actually used you. Quick Slash is not bad. Escape Plan, I think, is actually really good. Just because, like, we're already a pretty defensive deck. We have Survivor, Leg Sweep, Blur, plus obviously the 5 defends. So the reason why I like Escape Plan is because it's just a free card. You don't lose any value for having Escape Plan in your deck. I do think Quick Slash is also really good too, but just drawing an extra card, I feel like is not as relevant as just like making a card that doesn't gum up the deck. The Quick Slash will kind of gum up the deck. Does this actually draw 2 cards if it's upgraded? No, it does not. Yeah, so I think that's slightly weaker than going for like an Escape Plan here. We're playing very defensive, but I think that's perfectly fine, which means if we're playing defensive, we can start trying... If we get offered it, then we will take more poison cards. We haven't really been removing cards from our deck, so I think actually just upgrading... Since we have all the defends and strikes, I don't think it's time. I don't think we should be starting to remove them. I think we should just go for the upgrade everything. That upgrades 10 cards for us. That's insane. All right, this guy is actually kind of a pain. Snake Plant will deal quite a bit of damage. I think we start with an Escape Plan. No, we should start with, obviously, the Neutralize so we can see what he's dealing. He's dealing 15. which we can go for the Piercing Veil this turn if we want. Do we go for the escape plan, or do we use, like, the Dex Potion? I think we save the Dex Potion for an elite. This guy, like, almost is an elite, though. Ooh. Infinite Blades is cool, but EVENOM is just going to be more powerful against this enemy. And from there, we don't really need much. We got an extra 3 block because we drew the defend, which now we can just go for double attacks and be able to just put up another block here. And then we just prevent all the damage, and I can save the Piercing Wail for another turn. You obviously don't want to go for, what's it called, Wraith Form or early on, because losing that Dex is really detrimental to your runs. And since he's not doing anything, we're just going to try to be aggressive. It didn't matter if we put up that defend. I don't know why. I think I just wanted to get into the habit of using all of my mana. We have an EVENOM here. He is dealing us 21. I think we just play the other EVENOM and just put up our blocks. Unfortunately, though, we're going to be taking a little bit of damage here. It's not the end of the world, though. Can we kill you? You're at 15. So we can alchemize this turn and be able to skewer you. Awesome. And we end up getting a Liquid Memories, by the way. So we have Fletchet's increase, which I don't think is still worthwhile because we just don't really... I don't think we can take full advantage of this since we are a pretty skill-heavy deck, though. But we have a pretty good mix, I think, right now of skills and attacks. So I don't think this is actually going to be worthwhile. Cloak and Dagger. This is an upgrade Cloak and Dagger, which is it adds 2 shivs to your hand and gives you 6 block. This card's actually really reasonable. Being able to deal 8 damage, plus also, you know, for 1 mana you're dealing 8 damage and you're getting 6 block. That's really good. Like, that's on the same power level as Iron Wave for the Ironclad. Except, like, you can take advantage of the shivs, I think, more often, because there are cards that, you know, that if you have like a strength increase. If you have any strength bonus, obviously the shivs deal more damage, but there's also other ways to be able to buff shivs, which maybe we'll see along this run. But we also have Flying Knee, which is 1 mana deal 11 damage, and the next turn we get an additional energy, which I am a pretty big fan of, so I think I do take this card here. Getting additional energy on the following turn is reasonable, so... We lost gold somewhere? Oh, we probably paid for something. Probably like a... I don't remember. Whatever. Okay. I actually don't know what this does. Twisted Funnel. At the start of each combat, apply 4 poison to all enemies. Wow. Wow, 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 wow. Yeah, snipe. Let's just take that. We also have Footwork, too, which is a really good card. We also have Backflip, which is also good. Acrobatics is fine, but I think Backflip is better than Acrobatics because you gain 5 block and draw 2 cards rather than just drawing 3 and discarding 1. I do think we take probably both of those. I would imagine they both synergize really well. Dexterity is what increases your block, in case you're wondering, which we didn't really see a lot of in the Ironclad. So Footwork is just like one of those cards that, you know, it doesn't scale, but it just makes all of the rest of the cards in your deck better. And I like Backflip to be able to draw cards too. Card removal service, are you necessary? Since we're not really going to be hitting a shop like any other times, since we can't gain any gold, we might as well just remove a card from our deck, since I don't think picking up any of these other cards are really worthwhile. Dramatic Entrance is fine, dealing 6 damage to all enemies, and Innate is actually that's not a terrible option. That is not terrible. Having like another 0 mana just AoE, and we only have 1 AoE in the deck, which currently is the all-out attack. I think we can afford to go for that. I think that's slightly better than just going for card removal service. This will always be in our starting hand, which is what Innate is. Start each combat with this card in your hand. What does this look like? Upgrade is just deal 8. Okay. I think this is worthwhile. I think it is. I'm not sure, but I think so. And there we go. Now we don't have to worry about ever needing to go to another shop ever again. I'm going to fight the elite first so we can just take our beats, and then we can heal up after if we need to. Okay. Well, we would like to use a potion. It's probably going to be the Dex potion, but we don't really have anything that really takes advantage of it this turn. Let's go for the dramatic entrance. That will kill this guy. He needs, how much? He needs 7 damage on him. So we'll just make sure you're dead. Forgot you're vulnerable, so you're just going to die anyways. And we don't really need to block, so let's just apply as much pressure as possible. The skewer is going to deal the most amount of damage. I use the poison stab because it dealt the most damage over time rather than the skewer. But the skewer definitely helped out there. Caltrops is reasonable. Yeah, like we can just cast just about everything. Dealing some extra damage, and rolling over. Alrighty. We're not taking too much damage this turn, so that's actually really good for us. We have EVENOM, which I am a big fan of. This is only going to deal 10 damage. This is only going to deal 4 damage. And that will deal, what, 16 if we actually attack this guy, so I don't think it's really worthwhile. We could take out the guy, the block enemy, which I think is worthwhile. Yeah. I think taking out the block enemy is actually really good for us. Which means we should leg sweep him. Yeah, I'm just making sure like that's the correct play and making sure that I'm doing the right lines because I don't want to discard anything if I can help it, or discard anything that's important. All right. So we can't kill you. Deal 6. Nope. That's okay. I don't think we need to go for the Wraith form just yet, obviously. So let's go for the dagger throw. If we can find another way to be able to deal some damage this turn, I'll be very happy so we can take this guy out. He's going to be summoning more enemies, though. So I actually think we actually go after the big guy. We don't need Piercing Wail. Actually, we definitely don't need Wraith form this turn. Let's start there. Let's, you know. I think we start going for the potion here so we can actually get another one. Ooh, we get Intangible Ghosts in a Jar. So it's a one-time use to reduce all damage dealt to you. This is going to be really good later on. I'm very excited to see that, actually. Yeah. There's no reason to actually deal any damage to you because we're not going to be able to break through the armor. Caltrops end up killing you. That is very grateful. I'm very grateful for that. Let's go for the dexterity, see if we can get it. No, we didn't. Okay. Flying Knee still is really good, though. These are 12, but we don't need actually that much armor. Let's see if we can find some more aggressive cards. We did not. All right. Well, I would like to try to kill this guy because he's going to come out eventually and deal us a ton of damage. See, the elite is still taking damage because he has 5 poison still on him stacked up. And do we have lethal? I think we have lethal. 27? This is 50? So, yeah, like, there we go. Yeah. Skewer, really good. Ancient Tea set. I remember there's actually a run from one of my first videos that I actually forgot about the Ancient Tea set, and I was like, how the hell did I get 2 extra mana? Well, now I remember. Right, we have Funnel. Oh my god. We have Funnel, which makes Bane just insane. Okay. Yeah, so the other ones are fine. I should just cover Endless Agony, even though we didn't really cover it early on, now that I think about it. Deal 4 damage for 0 mana. Whenever you draw this card, add a copy of it to your hand. So basically you get 2 of these, and you can choose to play them, or you can put them back into your deck, and then every time you draw them again, it exhausts at the end of turn, so they're one-time use. They don't exhaust at the end of your turn. They exhaust when you play them. So I'm getting too excited because the Bane's here. We're going down a direction that I like. We could potentially try to go take out 2 elites. The only issue is that we don't have a campfire to be able to fully take advantage of between them. I think we need to start upgrading cards. What do we want to upgrade? What do we want to upgrade first? Alchemize is pretty good. Being able to become 0 mana. What do you become? Deal 5 damage. That's pretty decent too. Also footwork becoming 3 dexterity. And what is blur? Gain 8 block. So I like free cards. And Bane becomes deal 20. Deal 20 is really good too. Caltrops is going to be better for like the late game. We can upgrade that later on. For now, what is better? Just having like a 0 mana alchemize, I think, so that way we can guarantee that we always cast it every single time. I think that's worthwhile. I think it's worth it. Unfortunately, we have like 3 premium potions though that we just like never want to use. Piercing Whale is a fantastic card for this turn. Do we start with the escape plan just to see what we draw? I think so. We draw footwork. Okay. Whale. Is Piercing Whale going to be necessary then if we actually play the footwork? So, like, 100% we're going to be casting this. 100% we're going to be reducing the damage, which I think is going to be this guy. We want to try to take out the healer, but we can't do anything else that's damage this turn. So we can carry over block though. So I'm thinking that like footwork plus weaken you too. Sure, you're both weakened. Doesn't matter. So in other words, that neutralize was irrelevant, but that's okay. Blur. Do we want to cast the Piercing Whale? I don't think we need to carry over 40 block. Yeah, we'll save for another turn. There could be another turn that comes up when we draw it. That's funny. Yeah, we're just going to try to take this out. Let's get rid of the defend because we don't need that this turn. We have a strike and a strike. Oh, crap. I just dealt too much damage. We could have saved a strike for this one. That was a misplay, but that's okay. We haven't taken any damage yet, so it's irrelevant so far. Ugh, we are taking damage this turn, though. You fool. Okay. We take 4. Not the end of the world. We can kill you. So, do we want to alchemize? I mean, there's nothing that we actually want to get rid of, so we're just gonna, yeah. That sounds like the right choice. All right, we have Blade Dance again, we have Leg Sweep again, and we have Dagger Spray, which is a deal 6 damage to all enemies twice. So it's an AoE. I think this is actually a pretty reasonable card, especially since I think it works really well with EVENOM too. I will take it. Pretty soon, though, we're going to stop taking these type of cards. We just need like high impact stuff because we're getting to 31 cards in our deck, which is a lot. We can't gain gold, so clear choice. I was going to probably just take it anyways there. A Preserved Insect. Elite enemies have 25% less HP. It's actually pretty helpful because the 2 elite enemies that are before the heart are considered elites. So, you know, and they get their life total reduced. Reasons. It's good stuff. Let's see. We have Dramatic Entrance we can start with. Man, Alchemize. We need to start trying to get some value out of that. Clearly, we should go for the Dagger Spray. Clearly, we should go for a Bane. That will put you to 2. These will not... Yes, they will kill you, actually. So, yeah. Okay. And then we can Bane this guy. This girl. This Chosen. There we go. Do we want to just use... Like, the problem is we have a premium potion. We have premium potions, and we haven't, like, needed to be able to go for this. I think we just... Yeah. Yep. That we don't draw it again. Like, these are all really good potions. I guess we set up a footwork. And slice. And all out attack, because I don't care what I discard. Alright. Sure. And doesn't really matter what we do this turn. Both things are gonna prevent the damage. Well, I guess the defend makes it so we don't take 1 damage. Yeah. And lethal. We got there. Good. Didn't take very much damage at all. Or any? Any. All right, we have Slice, Sneaky Strike, and Dash, which is a gain 13 block and deal 13 damage. I actually think Dash is pretty good. We're filling our deck with more stuff, but Dash is just a really good card. I can't say no. Stop offering me good cards. Stop it. Yeah, we should go for the footwork, get that out of the way. Do we have anything we would like to cast and redraw? We're probably going to have the option to be able to get the full regen out of this. So it's 9, 12, 14, 15. So we get 15 health out of that. I could see it. He's obviously not dealing us any damage this turn. Let's go for the Alchemize. See what we get. We get Artifact. Oh, I think that works. I think that works. Oh my goodness. If that works, I'm going to be so ecstatic. Oh, please, baby. Oh my god. I really hope you work. Yeah, it's better to get the leg sweep in just so he's weakened. Does this work? Oh, yes! We are not confused. We don't have the Snecko effect. Oh my god, the Snecko effect ruins this character. Oh. We are taking damage this turn, so, you know, that is happening. But, man, am I so excited that we don't have the Snecko effect. Does he cast it again? No, he only does it that one time. Awesome. Oh my god, that makes this so great. Oh, that's exciting. That's exciting. Do we go for the Wraith form? We're going to be taking damage. Like, no, Blur protects us. Yeah, okay. I just want to make sure before I, you know, get too hasty. Yeah, okay. Because I forgot we had the footwork, which is the reason that I was sounding stupid there. We have Dash to be able to gain 15 block. And we can dagger throw you. Sure. Yeah, I'd like energy for next turn. That'd be great. But unfortunately, we're not going to have a next turn because you're dead. We have Poison Potion, which is another premium potion to get. We don't really need any of these cards. Calculate Gamble's the only card that you haven't seen yet, which is 0 mana. Discard your hand, draw that many cards. I actually don't remember what this looks like prior. Isn't this just choose? I feel like they changed this. I don't know. I forget what the original one is. But this isn't really worth it, I don't think. I don't know. Maybe I'm wrong. Because the problem is, like, I guess since the deck is so big that maybe it actually is worth it, because you could get, like, a pretty bad hand and be able to, like, try to find yourself, put us into, like, the EVENOM, or just, like, better cards, like Skewer if we're looking for that, or Caltrops. Like, it just digs us deeper, I guess, into... It's at the cost of a card slot, though, that might not be relevant. I think it's still worthwhile. It doesn't net you a card, or even it doesn't even break even, actually. It just... You lose a card, but you basically get to get a new hand, which we're not even gonna look, because I don't want to know what could have been. I don't want to know. Yes, this is a great turn for Piercing Whale. Screw all of you. Footwork is fantastic too to be able to set up. We do want to be able to dramatic entrance and all out attack. I just want to make sure we don't want to cast anything previous to this. So this is what, gain 10. They're both going to gain 10. We want to target the guy in the back, but this is just a turn where we're just going to all out attack, I think, everybody. And we can potentially take very little damage. No damage now. Do we want to apply anything? Like, we could all out attack again, actually. That's not a terrible choice. Just to get rid of this. I think it's worth it. Like, now they're all, like, so dead, and they haven't dealt us any damage. This is actually a hard fight, by the way. This is actually a hard fight. So, in case you're wondering the power level of this deck right now. Mummified Hand. Whenever you play a power, a random card in your hand costs 0 that turn. That is actually really good. And we get the Emerald. Do we need any of these? I don't think we need any of these. 1,000 Cuts, though, does get a little better now that we actually have the Mummified Hand. I don't think we take the Heal Hook. We don't need a second Skewer, so it just comes down to 1,000 Cuts. And is 1,000 Cuts worth the 2 mana investment to make a card free? I think it is, just because we picked up the Mummified Hand. If we didn't have it, if we didn't have the Mummified Hand, then I would say no. That will be like the next card that we upgrade, though. Wraithform can wait until later. Yeah, now that I think about it, the Calculated Gamble was a correct calculated gamble choice, because we do eventually want to like find this later on in the game, so especially against like the Heart and stuff. So we have Wraithform and Caltrops are the 2 upgrades that need to go next, which will be 1,000 Cuts as well. We're going to add you to the pile, buddy. And it looks like we get to upgrade, so we can recall later. What are we fighting against? I didn't even look. We're fighting against the Champ. Okay. What is the best thing for the Champ? Wraithform is actually really good against the Champ. I would say Caltrops is the weakest. 1,000 Cuts. It's between 1,000 Cuts and Wraithform here. But Wraithform is going to be like at the end of the game, so I'm not actually sure that we need to do this. I think 1,000 Cuts is just better. Yeah. Let's go for 1,000 Cuts. That way it deals 2 damage. Alrighty. We did not get any of our good starting cards. I will apply the poison right away. We are obviously going to Dramatic Entrance. We're definitely going to Poison. We're definitely going to Dagger Spray. We're definitely going to Blur. We're just going down the lineup. Yes, yes, and yes. Okay. There goes the entire hand, you know? Not a bad choice. We can Caltrops. Is this hand actually that good, though? It doesn't feel very good. I don't think we all out attack. I like Caltrops here, though, and that makes the Knee and the Bane reasonable choices, and we can calculate gamble to get rid of the all out attack. You know what? We'll just cast everything. Yeah. We don't need to find anything else there. Like, we're probably gonna draw into like a defend or something if that was the case. Hey, we get a sick turn to be able to set this up. That made dash free. Oh boy. It actually does make sense for us to cast these because they deal 2 additional damage each. Because every card we play is 2 damage. We can't actually get through his defenses, I think, here. Yep. Unless I want to play the Piercing Veil, which, I don't know, Piercing Whale? I keep saying Veil. We have EVENOM. Okay. Good choice. Let's go for the Escape. And we have Skewer to deal 7. That is reasonable here. We have a Strike. When he gets down to, I think it's like a third of his health, he gets rid of all the negative stuff on him. Let's go for an Alchemize, see what we get. First, we get a Strength, a Flex Potion. So I don't think we go for the Flex here, but I do like Leg Sweep quite a bit, and obviously we want to go for Footwork. We have a 0 mana Wraithform. I don't think it's time to go for the Wraithform yet. I don't think it is. I'm sorry. I'm so sorry. He hasn't quite gotten to that next part of his phase yet where he becomes a nightmare for us. Yeah. We do want to defend to try to block some of his damage here. Oh, maybe I should have gone for the Flex Potion this turn. It's a little too late now, huh? That it is. That it is. Okay. Do we weaken him again because he's powering up for potentially another attack for the following turn? I think so. We can go for a Dagger Throw here, since we're not going to need all these like defends or anything. And then just Leg Sweep him. He just purged all of the debuffs. So yeah, I would say it's about a third of his HP. It's more like 40%. Maybe it's the 50% mark that he actually gets rid of it, but We want to block. We definitely want to block. I could also just pop the intangible potion here too, but and then we can go for the skewer to start applying more more poison to him. I mean, we could actually pop both potions. That's not a terrible option. You know what? Because we have Alchemize, I'm going to do it. This deals more... Nope, it doesn't because he's not poisoned. Yep. Alrighty, that was a pretty decent turn. Flex Potion plus Skewer. OP, OP, OP. So we want to make sure that his armor is down if we're going to be going for that attack. So we can get 2 instances of poison there. And obviously we're just setting up so that we can roll over all of our armor to the next turn. He's dealing us 22, which we can just block. Like, oh, kind of feel bad, you know? We had the Wraith form and we actually didn't like need it there. Ooh, this is a dangerous turn though. I think we can still lethal him though. This will deal... Oh, I just... No, I did that wrong, but I don't think it matters. I did that wrong, but we had enough damage to still kill him. I did not need to discard a card there, because if I discarded one of those 1 mana deal damage cards, I think I would have been screwed. So I almost just killed myself. All right, we have Doppelganger, which is next turn, draw X cards and gain X energy. It's not a terrible choice, but I think the other 2 options are just slightly better. Actually, maybe not both of them, but Corpse Explosion is apply 6 poison. When the enemy dies, deal damage equal to its max HP to all enemies. So, yeah. That one is probably the clear choice here, I would say. If to me it is. We're starting to go for more like a poison theme, so... And we have Glass Knife, which is deal 8 damage twice and decrease this damage, the damage of this card by 2 this combat. So if you remember, I think it's like Rampage is the card for the Ironclad, which was like the deal 8, and every time you cast it gets +3 damage or whatever. That's kind of like what Glass Knife is, but it goes backwards. It doesn't actually go forwards. Glass Knife is still really good though for 1 mana, deal 16, and then the following you deal 12. Like it. Combats don't last that long for Glass Knife to be like a dead card, unless you're fighting against like the Heart, or like any major boss. I could see, you know, potentially being the Glass Knife not being great, but the fact that it just deals so much damage early on, I would say like the first like 2 or 3 times you cast a Glass Knife is actually pretty good. And if you have any strength increase, obviously, you know, Glass Knife scales, but Corpse Explosion is so good for us. So. Do we need? Okay, so we have Tiny House, which is, you know, it has all these abilities. So upon pickup, we gain an additional potion. We get 50 gold, which we can't even get gold. We have raise max HP by 5, which is pretty good. We have obtain 1 card, and we have upgrade a card. I don't think we're taking that, though. I think Philosopher's Stone is the other one here, which is you gain additional energy at the start of your turn, but all enemies start with an additional 1 strength. And then we have Busted Crown, which is gain 1 energy, but we're our future card reward. So every time we get to obtain a card at the end of a combat, we have 2 less to choose from, so we only have 1, which I think is reasonable because we're going into Act 3, and I don't think we're going to be needing to choose any more cards. So I would say like Catalyst is probably the biggest thing we're looking for, plus maybe some extra poisons here and there. We didn't really get like a strict poison build, so I'm not really sure. But that's going to do it for this episode. We're 1 hour and 12 minutes deep, so yeah, I think it's about time to cut it here. Once we get a little bit more into these videos and I don't need to explain very much of what's going on and I get more comfortable, then obviously we can speed these up and try to get it so that way maybe in under 1 hour to 1.5 hours I can fit an entire run into them. But for now, I think this is a pretty good place to stop, and just yeah, 1 hour is a lot of time for people. So yeah, you'll have to tune in next time on Wings of Wax 3 for find out what Act 3 and possibly the final act. We'll see. Thank you guys so much for watching, though. Hopefully you enjoyed. Be sure to like and subscribe if you haven't already. Please leave a comment down below if you think that maybe I could have made some better choices along the line. Please be considerate, though. I am welcome to constructive criticism, and I know that these type of games do lead to some more negative comments, you know, like "you idiot" type of thing. You're just going to be ignored if that's the case. I'm sorry, but I'm trying to make it as positive as possible. And clearly, I want to learn more about the game because I keep playing this game and I keep trying to just get better at it. So if you can show me or let me know, like, maybe this card is slightly better, you should have considered possibly this one because of this and this and this. And these interactions work out well together. You know, as long as you can keep it positive, then I have no issues with it, because I actually do want to become better at playing this game and be more efficient at it. So, and just inevitably getting more wins, because I do like the game quite a lot. But thank you guys so much for all the support lately. It is immensely appreciated. And I'm looking forward to being able to create more runs here. I'm actually also considering potentially recording like some more videos today. So let's see. I don't even know what time it is yet, but I have to go take a break regardless. And I have to see how much work I have to get done too, because I just got a bunch of things in that I have to go take care of. So that way, when my plate is cleared, I can then just record whenever I feel like it. So, yeah. Thank you guys so much for watching. Good luck, and grind on.